Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, the US Fed chairman Jerome Powell hinted at the further economic collapse all over the world. He estimated a rise of 20 to 25% in the unemployment rate and the 30% reduction in the global GDP. The prices of Bitcoin, gold, and oil soared after the U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell hinted at more economic collapse in the coming future and the need to provide more stimulus programs. The Fed's chairman media interview key highlights were an estimated rise of 20 to 25% in the unemployment rate and the 30% reduction in the GDPs across the world. Jerome Powell said that if people remain out of work for a more extended period of time and let businesses fail unnecessarily, waves of them, there'll be long-term damage to the economy. Logically, the US Fed chairman said the coming global economic recession could be curbed if enough support is provided now. SPX futures traded in the green with the 1% rise as gold continues to make new highs, currently at $1,761. I almost said 61 cents. Oil prices soared back to $30 as well, which is really weird because we were at, what was it, negative 27 just a couple of weeks ago? Sure, why not? The price of the leading cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, also surged by 5.1%, progressing towards $10,000 yet again as bullish sentiments continue to rise. At the time of writing, the price of Bitcoin is around $97.75, give or take, and I'll explain why in a little tiny bit. The cryptocurrency market looks completely insane right now. So, woke up this morning, saw a lot of the markets were actually up. A lot of the, what have you. 3 of the markets were relatively up on the news that this had happened. Apparently, it takes the Fed to finally announce something like this could potentially happen, which it's more than likely to actually happen. One can only assumption, if over the last 12 weeks, not much action has taken place, that probably not much more will be as well. And I think the current job numbers that I saw were around 36 million currently unemployed within the states, the people who are actually eligible and able to be able to get it. I learned something the other day as well. A lot of small businesses are also, and also businesses in general are not able to get them. So there are massive amounts of people who are simply not able to, depending on, of course, which state you are, which province, yada, yada, yada. But that's still absolutely insane. So it's probably roughly around 50 million people within the states who are without jobs and are probably going to receive no rapid assistance anytime soon. So we've heard this news before from many other economists over the last couple of weeks who've all been saying similar things, the exact same things. They continue to see a downtrend in prices. I saw something else. I don't have it in this video. People talking about that stocks are currently massively overvalued. If no one's going to these companies, if no one's buying anything, especially over the last 3 months, why are the prices continuing to go higher? You can base it off of future prospects, but that's not how business really works. Like you can say, oh, in 9 months, things will be a lot better, but we're not in those 9 months right now. Anyway, yeah, so the market has begun to rise. This one kind of also works into it as well, where it says Ethereum is one of the coins, yada yada, that's been going up. In the past 24 hours, the altcoin has broken out of its range. With it, it has triggered a wider market rally, which has seen a majority of altcoins outperform Bitcoin. We've spoken about that before. Typically, when Bitcoin goes up by 4 or 5%, altcoins will usually a lot higher and go up by around 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12%. Once again, you'll see the cryptocurrency market. It doesn't even look real right now. What was the other thing? Yeah, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin currently at the moment at the time of me making this video. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I assumed before that it was going to be because we had the news that Ethereum was going to upgrade to 2.0 in July, and then we got the other news that Vitalik was like, July? What's a July? So now apparently it's supposed to be sometime in Q3 and not actually in July. So any hyper upward movements of Ethereum, I guess, are led by more wider market speculation. If not, maybe potentially something else is happening behind the scenes that we simply don't know about, that other companies are accumulating off of markets as they are not being sold Ethereum directly by the Ethereum Foundation. Anyway, yeah, so Ethereum is currently leading everything. I think the last time I saw it, it was around 214. Yeah, we go. Yeah, even that. Yeah, that's kind of weird. That was odd. Yeah, it was around $214. I assume. I mean, it could be anywhere. I looked at the market prices, and then I looked away, and I looked back, and things had already completely lost their minds. So, anyway, this is obviously one of the newsiest newses of the day. It says, why Powell's chilling U.S. growth warning could just send Bitcoin and gold higher. Bitcoin, gold, and oil prices soar as U.S. Fed chairman sounds alert. I mean, just logically, like the fact that anyone would think that things would get back to normal immediately is just completely nonsensical. When you actually, I think, hold on, where's the actual? I think it shows like part of. Yeah, the interview on 60 Minutes. Even many other economists have also said the exact same thing. They said you have to understand, like, when you have a situation when you have 30 million plus people in one country who have lost their jobs, and many more who also were maybe just doing part-time work, and they're completely out of it. They have no job prospects at all. Even if everything with 19 was washed away, you can't really get a lot of those jobs back. A lot of those stores, a lot of those things have shut down. Automation has already begun to take hold in many places as well. I'm pretty sure you've noticed maybe an uptick around you in the amount of self checkout and stuff like that in certain stores. So this is only going to continue as time goes on. Like, there's not going to be a miracle switch that we can simply flip and therefore everything gets back to normal. Also everywhere as well, a lot of websites are talking about, for those of you who are not looking at the screen, it says if Bitcoin crosses $10,500 US, a new high would be on the horizon, analyst. This is, I could have shown you about 15 other things as well. For the lack of space on the top with all the tabs and stuff like that, a lot of people are saying that if we officially cross 2,300, 2,200 and stay above it, i.e. if we don't touch it and then slam back down, if we go above it and kind of even trend sideways, and also 10,500 I keep seeing within this range, then therefore we will do exceedingly well when it comes to Bitcoin and the prices and the movement up in prices, because apparently there seems to be a struggle between people who are actively buying and people behind the scenes who are trying to continuously sell off. Once again, for those of you who are not here in 2017, this is much of how 2017 played out. It was a very, very weird. As we got closer to the summer, there was a situation where it was clear that prices were moving up, but every single time we got relatively close to a new barrier, a new level that we had to cross, whatever word people like to use, prices would slam down over and over and over and over again. And it was only until that one point, I don't remember when it was. It was around the time when XRP was around 90 cents. And it went up above $1, went down, and everything kept on skyrocketing up. I think that was the real catalyst for everyone being like, okay, now it's a go. Because behind the scenes, you'll always have people who are shorting, betting against, trying to push down the price of any asset, especially within the cryptocurrency space. I can only imagine how many people just don't like crypto and are actively trying to, I don't want to say destroy it from within, but are trying to lower the market value of it. But you can only do so much, especially with an actual scarce asset. Eventually, you being one person or you being a consortium of people trying to lower the price, you still have to work against 50 million other people who are already within the Bitcoin space who are also actively buying, so they could care less about how much you're dumping onto the market. Anyway, yeah, that's all that's news for today. The cryptocurrency market is just completely wild. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, Coinbase is revealing a deep dive on the behavior of its customers. The leading U.S. crypto exchange is making an internal newsletter public, which shows crypto traders on the platform are showing an increased proclivity to buy and trade altcoins. This is also, what did I just say? This is exactly what happened in 2017 as well. Coinbase says Bitcoin remains the king, but traders tend to show a heightened interest in the altcoins during a period of rapid growth in the overall cryptocurrency market. Since 2019, users appear to be especially interested in 6 cryptocurrencies. Once again, 2017, what happened is that as Bitcoin's price went from $900 to around $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, by the middle of the year, which is, I mean, it's incredibly eerie how this year is, I mean, everything, but the price wise, it's shaping up to be incredibly odd. Once we got to around a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 Bitcoin, what happened was there was an increased amount of interest in the cryptocurrency space. Everybody wanted to know, what is this Bitcoin? I heard about it before. How do I get into it? The issue was for them, I want to buy Bitcoin. What's the price of Bitcoin? $6,000. I don't have $6,000. What's that one? $5? I'll buy a whole bunch of that. And they created this huge surge into the altcoin space because of something, once again, called crypto vanity. Everybody wants to have multiple of something. There was an article about that in 2017 as well that said a lot of people, this guy, some tech guy in Silicon Valley, he said he was going to work and people were discussing, everyone's talking about Bitcoin. And then someone was like, well, you know, I tried to buy Bitcoin, but I wasn't going to buy half of something. That was just completely ridiculous. But I did manage to buy 15,000 of this coin. It wasn't XRP, it was some other coin. And he said this kind of caused this frenzy to happen within the office because everyone was looking for places to buy these coins, because the idea was back then, and I'm still sure it holds true in many people's minds, if I buy 25,000 of this coin, it could one day potentially reach the price of Bitcoin. I know that sounds completely obscene because that's not how money works, but a lot of people still believe this. Remember all those conversations we had before of people talking about that Litecoin was going to be the entire price of Bitcoin or a fourth the price of Bitcoin, or at some point there would be some, if you've been here for a couple of years, you remember these conversations that people were having before. A lot of people thought, if I buy, and you can find them on forums, people were like, if I bought this coin and I have 20,000 of it, can you imagine if it reaches $5,000 like Bitcoin? And then people started calculating the actual market cap, and they're like, that's more than all the money in the actual world. But but you're not thinking far enough, man. Like, this coin could be the major coin. So not discounting altcoins, but a lot of people buy altcoins because they simply can't afford an entire Bitcoin. But this is also where people fall into trouble, because a lot of the altcoins they end up buying end up being garbage, not being used. Once again, I mean, and I mean, stick with me. If nothing else, you'll see in the year 2021, 2022, when we go over all of this all over again, and I'll be able to show you, because you're probably new here or relatively new here, have been here for a couple of months, if not a year, and I'll say the same exact thing over again. Look at those coins, look at how they failed. The only one that really survived after people were buying hordes and hordes of them were Bitcoin. It happens every single cycle. Every single cycle, people start buying tons of altcoins because they don't want to buy Bitcoin at $200. $200 Bitcoin, that's really expensive. That coin over there is $2. Why wouldn't I buy tons of that as opposed to Bitcoin? And then as time goes on and people get burned and people realize that they've made the wrong investment, they sell off, they buy into Bitcoin, Bitcoin becomes more scarce. And 4 years later, a new wave ends up happening once again. And this is just how, it's how everyone gets into the space. It's just how everyone learns what to really buy. But the interesting part is that you buy later than you could have bought before. So you end up getting less of what you could have had. Right. A deeper cut, they said, shows that price volatility significantly swings consumer behavior towards non-BTC assets. This trend first appeared in 2017 and is now evident in large spikes. Notably, in late 2019 with Tezos, Chainlink, BAT, 0x, and Stellar, and again in early 2020 driven by Ethereum, Tezos, and Chainlink. According to Coinbase, 50% of its users who make at least 5 purchases start by buying Bitcoin and then invest in the altcoin market. This is going to happen for a very long time until we have a clear winner. It's clear who is the number one coin or what is the number one coin in the market. But this is going to probably happen for many more cycles. I even think when we get to the point where Bitcoin is $500,000 per coin and we have a slew of new coins that come out that talk about being able to usurp XRP or throw away Ethereum, or I assume at that point we'll have coins talking about, I'm better than Cardano, my coin's better than this, and Tron is just garbage and therefore I'm making Megatron. We're going to see all these new coins pop up and people will simply not be able to afford, once again, $500,000 Bitcoin, or even a fraction of it, and therefore they'll be buying other coins, but this is just how the market goes. So yeah, it appears over the last year, Tezos, Chainlink, BAT, Ethereum, 0x, and Stellar are the most popular and or most purchased, wow, coins on their platform. Not really surprised. I've seen other cryptocurrency tubers pumping the heck out of these coins. They talk about them so highly. It just kind of is what it is. We'll see. And just once again, just listen to what I say. We will see in 2 years if these coins are not only still around, if other new coins have not popped up to kind of take their place, because this is once again part of the cycle. It's very weird. If you were here 3-4 years ago, I'm sure you feel it as well. All the same signs. Bitcoin starting the year low, moving up to around where we are right now, mid-year, mid-season, what have you. The altcoin interest increasing dramatically. The amount of institutions, or even back then, I guess it was just like normal nerds and stuff like that, and normal rich people, not the actual institutions, getting into the cryptocurrency space, but exclusively focusing on Bitcoin. The hate against the actual people who are buying Bitcoin, saying you should be buying altcoins instead. The altcoins also shooting up in price. This is also another phase of it as well. When Bitcoin does pass by 10,500 and other altcoins do start surging, the comment section here and everywhere else is going to go completely insane, because what's going to happen is Bitcoin is going to go up by around 4 or 5% per day, but altcoins are going to be surging by 18% over the course of a couple of days as well. And this will cause people to say, see, I told you my altcoin is better. And then eventually their altcoin pumps, completely starts to dump at any given time period. All the focus then goes back exclusively to Bitcoin. Bitcoin reaches an all-time high. Other people are completely silent because their coins are no longer pumping. This happened a couple days ago as well. All the people who told me that I simply didn't do enough research, didn't know about this coin, hadn't heard enough. I read about these coins before I talk about them. I know that they're not good. And then the price slammed down by 18% a couple of hours later because it was just a pump and everyone was trying to get the most out of it. So this is part of the cycle. This is it. And we're going to continue it next year. By the time Bitcoin, I assume this pump will put us, I dare not even say an $85,000 Bitcoin. Even that seems a bit odd to me at this very moment with everything that's kind of going on. When we pass by 20, 30, 40, 50,000, hit that $1 trillion, and we start to see that slide back that I'm expecting, this will be the start of a new cycle. Because all the people who did, like, cycles never work how people think that they work. People think that it's like it's a very obvious thing. What happens is that things creep up on you, and then the market moves higher when everyone starts FOMOing into the market because they didn't buy before. There's never and you don't start here, and then an hour later you're completely up here. It's a huge, wild ride, back and forth over and over. People are dumping their coins, buying new coins, and until you finally get to around here, and we start dumping massively, do people realize, because it then goes into the news. If you had bought at the beginning of this year, Bitcoin was $3,500. Bitcoin hit $68,000. Did you become a millionaire? That then triggers into people's minds as they see the market collapsing. Oh my gosh, I could have become a millionaire. Let me start buying Bitcoin. The cycle then goes over the next 2 years. The people who realize that they could have invested in Bitcoin early enough then start exclusively only buying Bitcoin. And then you have a new stream of people who also are coming into the cryptocurrency space who realize that they can't afford Bitcoin. So they start buying altcoins. And then my comment section is just once again full of spam and scams. It's the cycle. We are currently in the actual cycle. For those of you who don't know, it's evidently, obviously clear to me by a mile. We are in the cycle completely right now, and all it's going to take is for the market to start pumping. People, and once again, if you are into altcoins, you're probably going to make a lot of money. This is not me discouraging you, saying get out of those altcoins. You probably shouldn't be in them in the first place. But the point is, you're going to make an enormous amount of money if you're in the right altcoin. And I don't mean a good coin. I mean a coin that just has enough hype bubble around it. What's going to end up happening is, like always, Bitcoin will remain the king. Everything will crumble down. We'll start getting the news reports. Yeah, Bitcoin fell by 45%. Is it still a good investment? People will start to lambast Bitcoin. It's terrible. It's absolutely so-and-so. Peter Schiff will have the years of his life as he talks negatively about it, and then we'll start the next cycle once again over and over, and it's just how it goes. It's very fascinating. It's incredibly interesting to see history constantly echo and mimic itself over and over, but people never really see the signs of it happening. Look at articles, look at articles from 2017. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's the same exact thing. The amount of spikes in the interest in altcoins is really astronomical, and especially we're seeing those same exact movements before. Bitcoin increases by 3%, altcoins increase by 12%. Like, it's happening almost every single day now. And it's because more people, because of crypto vanity, don't want to buy Bitcoin because they're like, I can't own an entire one, not realizing that Bitcoin is king. Here's the actual article from them right here. Around the block, 6 Bitcoin dominance alongside. You can read the rest of the title. Let's move on. Next up, from the 11th of April until the 14th of May, Bitcoin transaction fees increased by more than 1,250%, from 38 cents to $5.16, while Bitcoin transaction fees have since fallen by 33% to sit roughly around $3.44. As of writing, fees have increased by 36% since the block halving reward on the 11th. That was a week ago. Wow, my goodness. The average cost of executing transactions on the Bitcoin network has increased by more than 800% in just 1 month, with May posting the highest transaction fees since July 2019 so far. Fees are up by more than 1/3 since the halving, which precipitated an increase in transaction costs of 105% over 3 days. Despite fees reaching their highest levels in nearly 1 year, current transaction costs are less than 1/10 of all-time highs recorded at the end of 2017. Bitcoin's fees are rising. Expect them to rise further. This once again happened, say it with me, in 2017, because it's exactly what happens. Bitcoin's transactions are slow. We know that the Bitcoin transactions and the network can be extremely clunky and slow and, for what it's worth, laggy. If Bitcoin passes by $11,000, $12,000 and we start getting a huge rush into the cryptocurrency space, expect Bitcoin's fees to rise to around $7, $8, $9. I think that's completely a given at this point. It's not a word of warning. It's like it's going to happen kind of thing. Once again, remember the thing that I told you a couple of days ago. What the idea was from a lot of people in 2018 and 2019 is that Bitcoin's core fees, not talking about the Lightning Network, which eventually I think people will be forced to migrate over into if you want cheaper transactions. But Bitcoin's transactions on the actual core will always be high. And the idea was years ago that it will only be for the rich. So if you are transacting $1 million, you wouldn't really mind a $35 fee because you are transacting on the most secure network in the entire world and you own this form of wealth and yada, 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 yada. So just be ready. And I assume we're going to start seeing, are they called dust attacks? I can't remember. It's pretty much where someone fills the Bitcoin network with tons of transactions that aren't really meant to be transacted and or validated. There'll be transactions as low as 1 cent. And they'll clog up the Bitcoin network. And this happens on purpose because other people trying to ruin, destroy, slow down the Bitcoin network. And this is why in 2017 we had, I think we were backlogged by 200,000 transactions or something like that. And then we found that a huge portion of them, I assume it could have been people from the people who were going to be creating Bcash or any other coin, clogging the network as much as they could to try and show how slow it was. But we already know that Bitcoin's very slow. Anyway, yeah, transaction fees are up. Expect them to rise even higher. I'm ready for a $35 transaction fee, as it were. I'll still keep buying. Anyway, that's the transaction fee news. And let's move on. Next up, investment platform Etoro has reached 13 million registered users globally as more people seek to gain access to financial markets worldwide. The platform saw an increase of 427% in new users globally, making their first deposit on the platform in the first 4 months of the year, compared with the same period last year. Etoro launched commission-free investing for stocks for users in the UK and Europe last May. Stock trading on the platform has tripled since the beginning of 2020, and Etoro hopes to extend its commission-free offering to the Asian Pacific very soon and to the US later this year. Yoni Asya, The CEO said 19 induced market volatility has been a focus for media globally and has brought the topic of investing increasingly onto people's radars. We have seen a large increase in trading volumes in Etoro since the start of 2020 for both new and existing users. For those of you who do not know and have been asking, that's the point of my... What was that? That was weird. That was odd. That's the point of my second channel. I've noticed a huge uptick in the amount of people who are looking for other ways to invest. It may not just be exclusively cryptocurrency, but they're looking for a way to kind of make money just in general. The idea and the topic of investing has completely exploded in popularity over the last couple of months, and I am very, very happy because a lot of people are realizing that while you think something may be stable, such as a job, it can be extremely fragile. So the goal is to help people to figure out other ways of making money, alternative ways to make money, to have more stuff in your pocket, how to start your own business. It's pretty much all the stuff that because this is a crypto channel. The other channel that I have is a money channel. So anything that pertains to money, we talk about over there. I'm basically on the same topic of the entire eToro thing. I'm very happy that this is happening, that I've seen a huge increase in the amount of people who are interested in making money and also making their own business, because now's the time. I mean, if this wasn't a shock for you, I'm not really sure what's going to be. The amount of job loss, the amount of furloughs, and even a furlough can feel a bit shaky sometimes. Will I still be able to go back to work? Will I still have my job? But also, I believe in financial independence, but also creating your own business because, you know, you've been around the last 3 months. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's no surprise that the people from Etoro have seen a huge surge on their platform. We also saw the surge in numbers on Binance, on BitMEX, on Coinbase. I assume the Gemini as well, and also on Kraken. Everyone's figuring out alternative ways to make money. And this I also think will cause a huge uptick, I hope, in the amount of crypto staking projects. Because people want an alternative way to be able to make money passively. Like, imagine if Cardano does end up launching Shelly sometime this century, and people are able to simply start staking there and on Tezos and all these other coins and not really have to work, especially if you got into these coins early enough within the cryptocurrency space, it's going to cause a huge shift in the mindset of what it means to make money passively. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the eToro news. Not surprised at all that they're seeing a huge amount of new registered users. Everyone wants to make money, and there are multiple ways to do so. Let's move on. And to finish things off, on the 5th of May, Venezuela's government announced that its controversial oil-backed cryptocurrency, El Petro, would go offline for maintenance until the 10th of May. Didn't know you could maintenance a blockchain. However, observers have since identified that the official Petro block explorer now lists the 5th of May 2020 as the date of its Genesis block. For those of you who don't know what a Genesis block is, Bitcoin's Genesis block was the first block ever mined. The Petro has been out for about 3 years, so why was the 5th of May the Genesis block? Other block explorers record the 13th of October 2018 as the date for the Petro Genesis block, suggesting that there is more than one Petro chain currently in existence. After the maintenance was completed, the National Superintendency of Crypto... What? Someone has that title? The National What? The National Superintendency of Crypto Assets announced it had completed major infrastructure upgrades, necessitating that Petro app users, this sounds terrible, update their Petro wallet addresses in order to continue using the platform. The extreme hyperinflation suffered in Venezuela has long driven demand for Bitcoin in the country, with Venezuela hosting among the strongest peer-to-peer trading volumes worldwide. Earlier this month, Panama-based crypto payments firm Crypto Buyer, announced a partnership with local company Megasoft to enable support for crypto payments across 20,000 retailers in Venezuela. The deal with Megasoft, yada, 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 don't really care. Megasoft's merchants, Megasoft, can now accept payments in the form of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dash, Binance Coin. I guess XPT is This is their own coin, crypto buyers. And Tether and DAI. Is anyone really surprised that the government forked their own coin? There were also news before that they had done major other things behind the scenes to also make sure that the value of it was relatively stable because no one was actually using it, so people were then forced to use it, but they still had to. This is not their first maintenance on their blockchain, which isn't really a blockchain or a cryptocurrency at all. Anyway, yeah, no surprise here. This news was very popular. As if we hadn't seen governments do stuff like this before, like not even pertaining to a blockchain or a cryptocurrency. Of course, they're going to do stuff behind the scenes to make it better for themselves. But I mean, no one was really expecting this to be a decentralized peer-to-peer cryptocurrency. Anyway, that's that news. Let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Utopia 569, Yasha Harari, Moonman High XRP, The Pothead, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Storio, Chongo Lolo, Tsongo Lolo, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moham Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Nicholas Run Earth, One Piece, One Love, Damien Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mon, Jelavodi, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, His Chest Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa on Crypto with Lionel, Crayola, Michelle, URL, and Hold On, I Have to Sneeze. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who has followed and subscribed to the new channel. And thank you all in general for your support. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently at 95.81. It's up and down 24 hours. I think if you look at the actual Bitcoin chart, I believe we hit $9,901. And then we slowly started to cascade back down where we currently are. Everything was up a lot more before I started the video. Ethereum was up by 7 or 8%. Currently at $212. XRP is just a smidge under being up above $1. Or rather 1%. Yeah, every single coin is following the same exact curve because everything follows Bitcoin in one way or another. Very odd. Nothing really makes sense in the market right now, and I assume it won't make sense for a while. I told you the volatility would return with a vengeance. Remember a couple of weeks ago, every single price was just completely going sideways. There's something being waged right now within the cryptocurrency space where everyone's trying to. I mean, it could be a matter of anything. People are trying to pump their coins. People are trying to sell their coins. People are trying to figure out when to get into the market. If they should be getting into the market, it's just kind of all completely all over the place. If you can, and once again, if you are here for the long term, don't really pay attention to short-term prices because it's all about the long term that makes the most sense. It's kind of like if you had gotten into Bitcoin years ago and you saw it was $300 and now it's $9,500, you're still doing fine. It's all about the long term, not about where prices are going now, because the short term prices drive people absolutely insane. I do hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.